this. Who wants to go?
I'll go. I'm driving.
Okay.
There's always like a pause. Who's gonna go? Last week wins. Huge communication win with my team and my VA. And going into this week, I think we both feel like super organized and we know exactly what we need to execute. And that's huge. Like for the first time, I feel in like 4 months, getting to this point of like everything being set up and now we're going to execute. I feel so good. I feel like I don't have to focus on all this little stuff. And now I'm just going to get loud about how I feel and what it's done for me as far as time and like just the mental capacity that it takes to do all of the things that we need to do to keep our businesses running and then still have energy to be excited about it has been my problem. And so I feel like I'm finally to that point, and that's a huge win for me.
Yeah,
It feels good to have some energy back and some excitement about what the heck I'm executing and not worrying about like what the email needs to say and what this needs to say, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's huge.
That is the hardest part of, in my experience, starting the tiers has been the communication of getting everything started. In my business especially, so I'm in the scale tier, and the biggest frustration is communication on every level. What do I need to be doing? Where should I be showing up? What should I be, what opportunities should I be sharing right now? What should I be talking about? Because all of it has to flow together. And as you guys who are in the tiers start to come into that 4th month, like Sarah's saying, you start to feel that like things get gradually easier. And then it's like this big aha moment where it's like, like you can take a deep breath and you can get excited about things because everything's in motion. You've worked out the kinks, the communication is there, your brand's on point, like everything's moving where it's supposed to be. And it's such a good feeling. We're in that month right here for me as well. And I'm about to promote my first course, which has been like 8 months in the making, just because I didn't know what I didn't know, and now I know. And so it's just a good feeling. It is a really good feeling. So those of you that are kind of in the lag, don't be discouraged by that. Look at that as a time to experience some really profound growth. Like, so when this problem arises or when something comes up with someone that you serve and it's kind of that same thing, you know how they feel. You know what they're stepping into. And I think that's one of the, I guess, the biggest things for me as the lead of ambassadors and running a business and head of sales is that I feel all of these things. I'm going through all of these things the same time you guys are, and I feel it, and the frustration and the stress is all there. And then it just starts to click and things start moving in the right direction. And for some reason today, I feel like the rest of this month, which we have this week left, and then into October, there's just going to be a lot of breakthroughs that start happening for so many of us. So I'm excited about that. Congrats, Sarah. Okay, who's next? Just
So for me, I think that my wins this week were just kind of gaining some clarity. And I think I've been a little bit more patient with myself and not reaching all my goals that I had set. And I think I'm going to call it a win that I'm up and at 'em this week. I didn't do a whole lot this week, but I think that that's okay. I spent a lot of time with my family and just kind of worked on gaining some clarity in what I needed to do.
Love it. I'm glad that's on here too.
Thank you.
Bethel?
Sure. Let's see. So this last week, a few things. I kind of got myself launched into launching my sales sequence with a free challenge, and then I'm going to do a 28-day thing and then go into my main program. And it all kind of started just because I had written an article in a magazine. I got this call out of the blue from someone saying, hey, I want to do this 28-day challenge. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. So that was really good. And I'm just really kind of thrilled and amazed at it. It might not sound like huge numbers, but I had 80 people interested in I have like 35 people or something in my challenge without spending a penny. It was just like putting it out there on Facebook. So I'm really happy with that. And then as far as I have a meetup today, and I tried really hard to get it out in the community, and I actually have had a couple people call me about it and say, hey, we want to be there tonight. So hopefully they will actually show up. So I'm excited about that too.
That's so exciting. Congrats on both ends. That's huge. Okay, Rachel, you're next.
Hello. So I'm driving again. Hopefully I don't lose service. So my wins for last week were I was able to do the training that I went to do, and I'm learning lots. And I have a meetup tomorrow with Legacy, so I've been putting it out there. Excited about that. And my goals for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, I will be studying for my health and wellness national exam. So that's kind of my focus. And once I get that, I'll build from there.
Well, that's exciting. I know studying is a huge, huge part of everything that's going on. There's a big freaking fly in my office. A huge part of everything that's going on with having kids and scheduling. It's a lot to take care of yourself and to study while you have kids at home and you're doing all of the other things. So congrats, that's so exciting. I'm excited for your guys' meetup. I hope that you have a good turnout, both of you, and that this is something to celebrate. We get some new people in the door, because one of the things that we kind of put out towards the non-members for Legacy was in the next couple of months, would they prefer to do in-person meetups or virtual meetups? And it was very much overwhelming in person, because everyone is ready for community. And so I hope that it is a huge turnout for both of you, and that it just continues to build, because people are ready. They are absolutely ready. Okay, Anna, your turn.
Oh, I'm not muted. I didn't know I was unmuted this whole time. I'm glad my son wasn't making lots of noise. Wins this week. So I've been feeling really stuck, and I had a nice meeting with my VA last week and got some clarity on some things that I need to accomplish. And also there's some pieces, like little pieces of my business, that have felt overwhelming for some reason, and they haven't even been that big of things, but I was able to just tackle those last week and take care of them. And I feel like that's really helped with a feeling of clarity and momentum. So I really appreciate that. I'm in a master's program for my health coaching, and I had a really awesome vision exercise over they had us essentially have a big vision in these big 5 areas of our life for the next year, and walked us through that. And that was really great, because I feel like I got a lot of clarity also with that. And like I said, I feel like just taking care of some stuff that weren't huge, but they were keeping me stuck. And so it feels, I'm feeling a lot like I have a good direction.
That's exciting. I did a vision workshop last week as well with Tony Robbins, and it was hugely incredible, because you don't know the things that you're missing until you sit down and you put it on paper. Hey, Emery. Use your inside voice, okay? She's in her own world. You don't realize what you're missing until you put it on paper, and you're like, well, I thought about that, but then if you're not seeing it regularly, you tend to stop thinking about it, and you tend to stop working towards it because you don't see it. And if you don't see it, you're not thinking about it. So that is something I encourage you guys to dig more into, is visualization. Visualization has been breakthrough happenings this year. And I'll try to find the one that I did with Rachel Hollis, I think in February. It was good. It's about an hour long, but it's an excerpt from her Rise conference from last year, the year before last. And it's like 20 or 30 minutes, the visualization part, and then the rest of it is her conference. But it is so good. And it's kind of where I first started with visualization, and now doing tapping with Scotty and some mindset work with Sheridan has just been it's incredible how much more you can achieve when you can visualize it and when you can tangibly start to work towards things. And I'll talk more about that here in a minute. But Tessa, let's hear your takeaways.
I would also, this is the last thing I was going to say, I would happily take the group through the visualization too. At some point, I could do just a session where I walk people through it.
That would be great.
So just going to throw that out there.
Okay, Tessa, since you can't talk, put your wins in the comment box and we'll celebrate you. She may be busy and can't talk. but that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you guys, and the fact that you're making progress. Whenever Sheridan asked me to take over ambassadors, I'm like, I don't know how to lead these people. They're all in different companies. Like, she's like, but most of them are in health and wellness, so I feel like we're going to be solid. But the thing I've learned over the last couple of months with y'all giving me tons of grace, I appreciate the grace that you have heaped upon me as I've stepped into this position, is that it doesn't matter what we are doing in business. Our job is service. It comes down to understanding that we are servant leaders. We want to stand out in our companies. We want to stand out in our businesses. We want to stand out online because we want to put our unique message into the world. And sometimes that means stepping into our queen bee roles. I don't know how many of you are in the 90-day training with Sheridan and Scotty. But one of the things that we went over in the last several weeks is really understanding your queen bee role and understanding what it is that you need to trash, trim, or transfer. This has been groundbreaking in the last week of just really understanding where I'm spending the majority of my time. So one of the frustrations that many of our members have had over the last month is the fact that they're not making more income. Several people have stepped into tiers. I think we have 15 or 16 members in the tiers now, which is awesome. But the most frustrating part about stepping into the tiers is not understanding what's going on behind the scenes. And so you feel like you still need to be the worker bee instead of the queen bee. Queen bee delegates. She delegates, she trims, she transfers, and she trashes. She trashes the things that aren't serving her. She's trashing the things that are taking her time but not bringing her closer to her income goals. She communicates well so that she's transferring power to other people. When you transfer power to other people, you give them power. Giving them power allows them to step into their role and to be autonomous without you. As leaders of teams, most of us do have teams of people underneath us or even clients underneath us who need to be empowered to be autonomous, who need to be told that you have power over your life to step into the positions that you desire to step into the roles that you desire to step into. It's so freeing when you understand that no one has to tell you what to do. You can do it on your own. You can take that power in that position and you can put it to work. No one has to tell you what step A, B, and C is because you're an intelligent woman who has all of these resources at her fingertips, who is empowered to make a difference in her own life, who has a vision that is so clear, she knows exactly where she's going. But sometimes that means, okay, if this is my vision and this is where I'm headed, then these things are distracting me from that. The enemy of success is distraction. There is nothing in this world that will keep you from achieving your success than self-sabotage and distractions. Being distracted by the things that don't matter. As a leader of a large organization, one of the things that I struggle with most is understanding that people don't need to have everything for me. They need to figure out some things on their own. They need to be guided in the right direction and shown how the tools work, but then they need to be left to their own devices to figure out all the things that I had to figure out. How to serve someone, how to share something, how to become who they are on social media. Not everyone can look like me. Not everyone can look like you, and you shouldn't want that. You should want to create these autonomous leaders who are stepping into their own power and are excited about the same roles that you have taken on, or excited about taking on the roles that you've taken on and doing it differently. One of the things that we have in my team, it's called crockpot leadership. You are allowed to come in whenever you want to. You can stay how you want to. And at the time when you are done and you're ready to step out of the crock pot because you're fully cooked, you can step into your leadership role however you choose. I will provide the tools. I will run with you. I will help you along the way, but I'm not going to force you to do things that you don't want to do. And that's a position that we have to get out of. We have to get out of thinking that everyone else's success is our responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. Being willing to step out of things that no longer bless you, no longer serve the vision that you've created, those things keep you stuck. Those things muddle your clarity. And so that's where the queen bee role comes into place. Writing down every single thing that you do on a weekly basis. So I want you to take some time. I know some of y'all are driving today, but I want you to think about this. You got your crayon? Where am I spending the most time in my business right now? Is it finding new clients? Is it creating graphics and social media promotions? Hey, you have to be quiet right here, okay? You can take these over there. Is it following up with people? Is it training new people? Is it updating your website, writing blog posts, going live? Like, where are you spending most of your time in your tasks? So write everything on your weekly to-do list down, and then really sit down and think about, okay, how long am I spending on this a week? So I have the scale tier. I have help with graphics, I have help with virtual assistants, and I also have help with social media. Where are the 3 things that I was spending the most time every week? About 8 to 10 hours a week, even though I have help. Social media, graphics, creating graphics for everyone, creating content. That's way too much time when you're paying for help. And if you're not paying for help yet, that's something that you need to look at. Okay, if I'm spending 8 to 10 hours a week on these things, that's something that I need to transfer to someone else so that I can do more of what I'm good at and more of what is going to bring in a profit. Drawing a diagram on your queen bee roles. Here's you, like a little circle, and then do some like spider action. But here's you, here's the things that you do, all the things that you do every single week. Like, hold on, I'll draw it. So it kind of looks like, you know, like a kindergarten son. So you have you, queen bee, in the middle. What is the thing that only you can do? For a lot of us, that's coaching. We are the only ones that can coach. Maybe it's product creation for Sheena. She's the only one that can create her product. She's the only one that's like the master creator of her product. Other people can package them and ship them, but she's the only one that can come up with the formulations that make them what they are. Does that make sense? Yeah, head nod. Makes sense. Okay. Write down all of the things that you're doing right now. So like right now, I'm running an online Bible study for free, because I love running Bible study. Is it something that's getting me close to my vision financially? No. But is it something that fills my cup of service? Yes, absolutely. It's something that I will continue to do for free, because sometimes you feel called to things that don't earn you money. But people get the opportunity to work with me. They see how I work. They see how I share. They see my heart. My heart behind everything that I do is always faith-based. It's always to grow in that. It's always to help other people grow in that. That's why I do what I do. So whether it brings me profit or not, those are one of the things that I will continue to do, because it grows me closer to my mission spiritually. Does that make sense? So some of the other areas, writing blog posts, spending too much time on that, spending too much time on social media, trying to figure out how to make a reel. I made my first reel this morning, and I was like, you know, it was really awesome, but it was just me cleaning my kitchen, like, and it took me 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is something that I should do when I have more time, not when I'm starting my week. So understanding trim, crash, and transfer. I can trim down my social media use. I can make that less than what it is, because I don't need to spend 5 hours a day on social media just scrolling and getting lost in the scroll hole. And one of the productivities that I talked about this morning on my reel was setting a timer. I had no time management skills before I met Sheridan, none at all. But then when we would meet every single week, and she would say, okay, Katie, you filled out your productivity tracker. Did you do that? Where you put your tasks in and then you check off the things. She's like, I want to see what you're doing. I want to see why you're not making money. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to be that accountable for something I'm paying for. But she's like, this is how I help people up level. She said, something as stupid and as simple as this will tell you where you're wasting your time, where you're spending too much time on things that do not serve your business, that are not making you profitable. Are you following your marketing plan? Do you have a marketing plan? Because if all of your time's been being spent, can't speak, on content creation, what's stuck? It's okay. If all of your time is being spent on content creation and social media and trying to figure out what other people should do, then you're spending not enough time being productive, because by the time you get around to doing the income producing activities, you're either tired, you're distracted, something comes up, and then you're like, well, why can't I be productive? Why am I not making money? This right here will show you. And so I really want you guys, I think I sent it in the group message. I'll add this into the ambassador page. I want you to sit down if you're not happy with where your business is, and I want you to fill this out, and I want you to go through this exercise on your own. And I want you to really start to check in with your business. Check in with the things that you're doing well. Check in with the things that you would like to trim, transfer, or trash. A lot of us need to trash just ridiculous stuff that we're doing that serves no one. And one of the I guess one of the principles that we have at the agency is that done, not done right. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to get it in motion. This last launch that we had was freaking terrible, but we still managed to get 230 people there. Our goal was 200. We still managed to get 232 people there in 3 days, which means we were doing something focused. We were doing the activities that we should have been doing all along. We were building up our community and our audience in 3 days. And now those people are in our email list to grow into our warm market. So then we have the opportunity to advertise to them. There always has to be a plan behind the things that you're doing. And that's part of understanding your Queen Bee role. You are the only person that can bring people into your business, your personal business, regardless of what it is. You can have people write your content and do your social media and do your emails, but you're the only person that can have those conversations. You're the only person that the people are coming to your business for. They don't care what you sell. They don't care what you offer them. The reason that they said yes to you is because there's a trust factor there. They trust you. They trust your opinion. Sometimes you'll get these random people that are like, okay, yeah, just tell me where to sign up. And you barely had a conversation. And you're like, why isn't everyone this easy to enroll or to sign up? And then you find out on the back end of that, because you didn't have the conversations, that there's a lot of stuff that you have to go back over. There's a lot of stuff that you have to figure out along the way. So sometimes it's almost better to have those and build those relationships up front so that they know what to expect from you and you know what to expect from them. I will be honest, the 5 people that I've enrolled that have been complete random strangers have almost always sent their products back because they didn't build that relationship with me. They didn't know to trust me. They thought, oh, well, this is the solution to my problem, and so let's do it. And then maybe something didn't click with us, or maybe something just didn't come across, or they didn't know how I communicate, and the fact that I overly communicate, and so it became annoying. And they're like, no, I don't really want that. So that's why you spend the time getting rid of these things and letting other people step in and help you so that you can spend the time building their relationships. So that when people do come to you, whether it's 5 or 500, they know who you are, they know your message, your mission, and what to expect from you. And you have laid out the groundwork of what to expect, what they can expect from you, but what you also expect from them. I expect my people to show up. I expect if you tell me that you're building a business and you want my help, my hours, my precious time, which I don't seem to have enough of, then you're going to show up for your business. And you should expect that of your people. If you're going to invest with me, here's how I'm going to show up. Here's how I need you to show up. All of that is a part of creating that trust. Okay, so Queen Bee role. Let's work on that this week. I really want you guys to sit and figure it out. I will put it in the ambassador page. And make a note to put it in the ambassador page. I want you guys to do this and then to start figuring it out and checking in for accountability so that we are working together collectively. The other thing I want to talk about really quick is the marketing strategy. One of the things that I think I provided last week was a marketing strategy. Sheridan gave it to me whenever I was a new coaching client of hers, and she said, okay, if you do nothing else this week, these are things that you need to be doing that build up to your monthly goals. So my monthly goal was to go live 3 or 4 times, okay, once a week. You can break that down. My monthly goal was to post or to have 4 blogs posted. My monthly goal was to enroll 10 people. So all of the things that I'm doing every single week should add up to those monthly goals. Well, many of you are accustomed to now the 5-day free group, which leads into a 28-day paid group, which then leads into a high ticket offer. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, as we have almost 3 months left, 2 months left in this year, okay, what's my free group? What's my free thing? What can I bring people in? How can I grow my network? Bethel did a really awesome share of getting 80 people in to her free group, and then 35 joined her in her 28-day group. That's incredible. And I may have understood those numbers wrong, but that's what I heard. But that's incredible, because think about that. That's a good percentage of people that you now need to stay in contact with. The 80 go on your email list. You let them know what's going on. You serve them with free content. You add value to their lives. You get to know them. You build that trust factor. Then the next time you offer your free group, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to do that again. This is really awesome. But then once they go on to your 28-day group, this is the time that you get to pour yourself into their success. You get to pour yourself into serving them, helping them get to know you, having a great experience, within results into a higher ticket offer. So whatever that is for you in your business, I don't know for most of you, I'm assuming it's some kind of coaching, but is it one-on-one coaching? Is it group coaching? Is it another group? Like we went from the 5-day group to the 28-day group, and then we'll go to the tiers. So this next round of launch that we're doing is Vision Energy Action, 5-day free group, 28-day paid group into the tiers. This is the areas that we've designated that you could use some help in. Here's how we can help you. Those are our big ticket offers, is the tiers. So whatever that is for you, I want you guys to map that out. And if you're not planning on doing a launch until after the first of the year, one of the things that you should be doing right now is you should be building your network. You should be getting to know people. You should be interacting with people on social media. So one of the great things about having a social media manager, someone who posts for you and who engages on your post, you have free opportunities to message people. Say, thanks so much for engaging on my post. I love chatting with you. Tell me more about who you are. What's your business? What do you do? Spend time building authentic relationships. The seeds that you plant now will harvest come January, will harvest come December. Whatever your season of service is, it will harvest in due time. But you have to plant the seeds. You have to water them. You have to keep track of them. There is a reason that the saying, the fortune is in the follow-up, is a real thing. And I'm going to share this example. On Friday, I had probably my 6th or 7th person with the Savvy clothing line get in contact with me. I've been contacting this girl since summertime, and I was like, I love your vibe. I love everything about you. My intent was to enroll her and was to, recruit her. But instead, she enrolled me. And the reason being was she followed up and she was consistent. Whereas the other 6 people who had been talking to me about the same thing, they never followed up. They might follow up one time in 2 weeks, and then, months go by and I haven't heard from them. I'm going to sign up with the person that follows up with me consistently, whether I sign up in the first day or I sign up 8 weeks later, and I'm the person that takes time, because I want to know if investing my money with you is the best opportunity for me. What's in it for me? That's honestly what you should ask yourself, because that's what people are asking you. What's in it for me? What do I get out of this? I'm giving you my money. What am I going to get out of this? How are you going to provide for me? What are you going to serve me with? Because that's what people want to know. They don't care about what it is that you do, but what are they getting out of it? What does their yes equal? And so my yes equaled, obviously, cute new workout clothing and finally some nice bras. And then it also included the opportunity for us now to collaborate on a health and wellness event, and for me to have access to her network, which is extensive for Isagenix, which is crazy awesome. So really think about that too. What's your list look like? If you don't have a list, sit down this week with your Queen Bee roles and think, okay, this is my #1 priority, is making sure that I have a list, that I'm working from a list, that I'm constantly adding people to it, that I'm removing people from it. If you don't want to work with someone, you don't have to. There are plenty of people out in the world. You don't have to work with people that make you miserable. I know that's kind of like some people are like, no, you need to work with everyone. No, you don't. You're not everyone's cup of tea, and they are definitely not yours. So don't lock yourself into thinking that you have to work with certain people. You don't. You get to be choosy, because it's quality over quantity. If you work with quality people, the income will multiply, because they'll see your vision, they'll take your vision to the next level, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense? Okay, that's my nuggets of wisdom. We have about 6 minutes if anyone wants to come off mute and share their thoughts or anything that you took away or anything that you want to add to that.
I really like the Queen Bee theory, because I do find, part of my clarity came in last week is I gotten all these challenges and it was just distracting me from my business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get people into my business. Instead, I'm not making time for myself to do that because I'm doing all these other things. So if it's not going to directly contribute to what I'm doing, I'm letting those things go right now.
Well, and you have to understand too, when you make that decision to let things go that aren't serving you right now, they will come back. If that person is diligent in their follow-up, they'll have another challenge. It'll come back around. This isn't the only opportunity. No matter what people tell you, there will be more opportunities. And just say, like Mariah asked me to be in her next 5-day challenge. And I said, honestly, right now, my plate is so full, it's overflowing. Like if I were to commit to this, I would not show up. I would not participate. I'm totally scattered. Hit me up when you have your next one. And I don't know if on the next one it'll be right either, but I know by making that decision and just simply saying, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. That allows me to go, okay, this is a no for now. No is not forever. It's just not for now.
Right.
Who else? Anybody else? All right. Well, if nobody else has anything to add, I'm going to end